Hey, what up, everybody? So we are going to review a movie that I got to be very honest. When I seen this trailer for this movie, I was like, "Oh, I have to see this." And like the trailer was epic. Like throw all the awards and cash at the trailer. But we're gonna break down the movie in a second. And the movie I'm talking about is Richard Jewell, which is directed by Clint Eastwood. This movie is going to release December 13th, but I have seen it tonight, and man, I got a lot to talk about here because I really, to be honest, a lot of me don't know what to feel. I thought the movie absolutely started off slow, and there was even points at the movie I was like, "Oh, this is just going to be terribly bad." I didn't feel like there was enough heart in it at times, and not even to mention, like, I thought the editing was just way wonky, and there was just things that you just really could not overlook, as far as the plot development and even some of the editing as well. But this movie follows Richard Jewell, who is played by Paul Walker Hauser, which I think his job was in his acting role. I thought it was okay. I didn't really, but I wasn't like really invested. But the character was so complex. I can see why, because there's times with his character that you just get so frustrated. It's just, I don't know. It's just it really pulls you in and out as a viewer at times. So I think really looking at this, that it was a really technical job to pull off, maybe. But it does follow Richard Jewell, who is law enforcement. So to say, this guy has literally been he's been, he was law enforcement, but overall he's an American security guard who, during the events of the 1996 Olympics in Atlanta, Georgia, he saved thousands of people from an exploding bomb, which made him a hero. But the press and the U.S. government end up making him become the villain. So we get to go into this. This story follows him in the journey of his, his ups and downs, as he for 88 days was considered the victim, the terrorist of this hideous attack in Atlanta, Georgia, and Centennial Park during the Olympics, for something that he didn't do. But we'll talk about it in a little bit. But Richard Jewell, like his character, he was just so obsessed with law enforcement, like so obsessed to the point it was like really creepy. And even when it came down to the FBI investigating him, he was given a profile as the lone bomber, and this profile pretty much is any man who's a former police officer, preferably a Caucasian man, who was member of the military or police, or police wannabe, so to say, who seeks to become a hero. And it's a very, it's that profile is just like very, very like chilling when you think about it. But Richard Jewell, he always inspired to be a cop his entire time, and he was a cop at the time, and then he was released from numerous jobs, even his law enforcement job, and he found himself doing some type of like detailing / escort with the sound and equipment staff at this event in Centennial Park, which he still at times still posed himself to be a cop. And yes, he had the highest, most respect for law enforcement, but at times you can see where he kind of like overstepped his boundaries. And and those are the scenes where things get like sort of creepy, and it really, because the story basically takes the viewers to the point of saying, like, is this guy the good guy, is he the bad guy? And at times you see him self-criminate himself by just this obsession for the duty, and it's just it's just a lot, because even on the other aspect, we know how negative and how powerful the press could be pushing the narrative. And not only that, you got the FBI also working against him, who's using all types of tactics, which at times they come off supremely as the bad guy. And if they're the bad guy, then Joel is obviously the good guy here. But even times you get suspicious of Joel because of just his mentality and things that, is he the bad guy? Even if you're not familiar with the story at all, it's just, it really gives you that toss and that the pull and toss in the story as the viewers. I gotta say, the really, really bright part of this movie was Bobby Joel, his mom, who was played by Kathy Bates, did an amazing job. Really my favorite character easily in this movie. Spectacular acting performance by Kathy. Also in this movie, Sam Rockwell, our favorite, who played the lawyer, Watson Bryant. Now, he was Richard Jewell's lawyer, who they had met on a previous job some years ago. And the reason why these two even had a bond, because, for years, Richard was just treated badly by people. But Watson was literally the only person who humanized him. He treated him with respect and like a regular person. And of course, time passed, and then the trouble happened. Well, Watson continued to, practice in the law. And when it came down to it, he phoned home his best friend. These guys have had a really organic relationship, which we see throughout the duration of this movie. I thought Sam, obviously, we all know Sam is a hell of an actor. He did a good job as well too. But nonetheless, this movie just really, it just, it's hard for me to say I really loved it, because I didn't. It's hard to say I really liked it, because I don't think I did. I mean, if this was a Netflix movie, absolutely, I'd be like, okay, cool. But to actually go out and see it, I don't know, because there was just a lot of things that I just really couldn't overlook that just did not make sense to me. So yeah, there was things, of course, I liked, and things, of course, I didn't like, but it just didn't overall do it for me as a whole body of work. I think Clint Eastwood as a director is good. Would probably have loved to see him in this movie in some capacity, but overall, I don't know. This movie I just really hit from the trailer. I knew I had to see this. Because of the trailer. But after seeing it, I'm a little disappointed. Can't even lie. I'm just a little disappointed. There is no after the credits. There's a little bit of information poured immediately after the movie is ended, because of talk about the current world being of these real characters in this movie. But nonetheless, I will say that I thought the ending of the movie was, I didn't mind it, because I feel like it's probably the ending we needed, considering the ups and downs that Richard Jewell character really gave us in this movie. And, because his character really gave us some really ridiculous scenes and lines, but it was really true to the character. So it makes you at times, when you watch a horror film, you're just like, no, don't do that. Don't say that. Yeah, you got a lot of that happening in this film. And, it just really gives the viewers a lot of, like I said, toss and turn, pull and toss, all that other stuff. Just a lot of yanking going on. But, again, it comes out December 13th. If you guys go see it, definitely leave some comments in below and let me know what you think. But it's a busy week coming up. So I got some more stuff coming up very soon, looking at the schedule, and especially next week, too. But, yeah, stay tuned. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for viewing. And catch you guys for the next one. Big Gold Bell.